Alright, guys. I'm mooglemod with co-commentator Thunder Mustache, and this is Gunple, Gunman's Proof.
Hey everyone. Yeah, this is indeed Gunple Gunman's Proof, unreleased in the US. So we are playing on the translation patch.
So this is originally a Super Famicom game released in January of 1997, which, for reference, is about half a year after Super Mario 64 came out.
Yep. Very, very late.
Which explains why it was never formally released in the US. But you'll notice that this game has a lot of similarities to a game that you all should be very familiar with. The only main difference is, instead of a sword, you get a pistol.
That's right. And you won't find as many puzzle elements as you will normally find in A Link to the Past. Instead, you'll find a lot more combat-based types of rooms and...
It's true, the movement is really straightforward. There's not a lot of difficult tech in this run, but it makes some of the movements in between dungeons interesting. There's a strafing mechanic where you can hold one of the shoulder buttons and keep your same angle while moving to the side or whichever direction.
Yeah, and other than that, it is rather straightforward. There's no fancy movement like in A Link to the Past, no pumping. So yeah, this is definitely a really comfy type of run. Matter of fact, I got my blanket. I'm currently lying down. I'm in maximum comfort mode for this run because I know how comfortable it is. Got some nice music. A lot of funny cutscenes.
You can wiggle them from side to side. It's pretty silly. Yeah, so basically this is like a 5.5 to 6 minute cutscene that sets the storyline for the game.
Right, you don't even have to press anything, so if you're just grinding a tense, you can go to the fridge, pop your chat up.
We're going to be inhabited by this space sheriff as he uses us to find this guy Demi that they're after.
Earth Boy. One thing that's cool about the text in this game, and I think is sort of original to the game, is how the speed of the text goes with the, you can tell the emotion from the speed in the text. You can tell if person's hesitant or if he's like angry, so it'll be faster, or all caps.
Oh, that's not something I ever really picked up on.
Yeah, no, you'll notice that sometimes you'll notice when the character hesitates, his text will be slower, or if it's more suspenseful. That's one like really nice touch with the dialogues. Fortunately, as a speedrunner, you kind of wish the text would go as fast as possible all the time. But alright, so we're... Wow, okay, I forgot about the English text. Normally, you'd be jumping into the game right about now, but...
I timed it at like 5:30 something, 5:40.
Wow.
It's
so
quite a bit longer.
Just the opening cutscene is 45 seconds longer because of the English text, so I can't imagine over the course of the game how much it...
I'm really happy I was able to do the English version for you guys.
Sorry.
I tested out a run and I still came in under estimate, so we're in good shape as far as that.
Yeah, I also think it's worth it to show this game off on the English ROM. Because it's so funny.
There's a lot of really funny character interactions.
No, it's well worth it.
So, on this version, it's going to be over 8 minutes into the run where you actually get into the meat of the game. So this is just making my way towards even more cutscenes. But this is a pretty silly one, so I actually was really quite shocked by this the first time I played it through.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, the only button that you can advance text with in this game is A, but...
Yeah, and since there's a lot of text, you'll be mashing that A button a lot. Yeah, being a rebel, because obviously it's not actually him, it's the alien that inhabits him. It's controlling his behavior. So he's acting up. And Papa don't like it. So yeah, Papa's upset, but we'll win him back. Don't worry.
There we go.
Out the door.
By now, at this point in the Japanese version, the main game has already started, so this is quite a bit behind. Alright, here we go. So we have to meet up with one of the other main characters of the game, because this is actually one of the triggers to be able to leave town. And you'll see here that LTTC seems to have lost his memory somehow and doesn't recognize this girl that he's known all his life. Stair leg. Stair leg. Don't drag along the door frames. Just wait till we get in the dungeon. I'm gonna open up the dungeon map for you guys really quickly. Okay, now we get into some actual gameplay.
Awesome, so good luck.
Yeah?
Oh, this guy's name's Billy? That's a good name. You know it's a good game when they give every single NPC a name.
Generic Western names.
Yeah.
But yeah, that too.
So here we're picking up a bomb. Or, sorry, 3 bombs from a chest. Bombs are going to be really important during the run because they're the most damage you can deal to bosses. There are even some quick kill setups that'll obliterate the bosses. We're gonna start seeing them as soon as the first dungeon here. Alright, so that was our first instance of a locked room, so very similar to A Link to the Past. Let's say the room with the 4 Stalfos in the beginning of Eastern. It is locked until you kill all the enemies that are in the room. This death we're taking here is very inconsequential. As a matter of fact, you want to take deaths along the way.
I meant to save my health for this dungeon, but yeah, it's a minor whatever. You want to die 4 times before the 3rd boss is over anyway, so...
Here's another locked room, 4 enemies. Deal with them nice and quick. And we're at the first boss already. So that dungeon went by pretty quick. I'm gonna shut up because there's a quick kill here. On the second phase. First phase is pretty easy. This one you gotta line up. That looks good, yeah. Awesome. Well done. So that timing's pretty tight. Depending on the position, obviously the window is a little different.
But the dungeons are all very similar layouts. There's no tech to them whatsoever.
Pretty much, yeah. And you'll notice that we pretty much blitz through them in typical speedrunning fashion, but if you were to play the game regularly, you'll notice that they're mazes. You can get lost easily. They're rather large. A lot of extra content.
There's just arbitrary rooms where you'll open up a chest to get points. You see my score at the top left? It's 1,000% inconsequential. It means nothing.
But there are score screens at the end of each dungeon, which counts down your points. So any percent consists of getting the least amount of collectibles possible, so that your score doesn't count down. It's a little longer the more points you have. Also, another thing that grants you points is how much life you have at the end of a dungeon. So one of the strategies we have during the run is to try and finish dungeons with the least amount of hearts possible. So the exact opposite of what we try in Link to the Past. Link to the Past, the refill is what counts down, whereas in this game it's how much health you have. It counts down to 0.
Exactly, apathy.
What did you say?
Finish dungeons with the least amount of health possible.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you're good at tanking hits, this is the game for you. Just running into enemies. So here we're collecting a bounty. We're gonna be after each dungeon you beat, you can go to the sheriff's and collect a bounty. But we won't be needing most of them. We'll just grab a couple of them at strategic points that'll allow us to purchase the necessary items. And so he tells us where to head to next. But right before that, we are going to go and get our only gun upgrade.
This game has actually quite a few interesting gun upgrades, and you don't get to use a lot of them.
And when I say gun upgrades, I actually mean a sub-weapon. because there are also actual upgrades to your regular base gun, which give it more damage. But yeah, we have I think 3 or 4. I can't remember. I think it's 4 different.
That sounds right.
Yeah, 4 different sub weapons. So you'll have the 5-way shotgun, or is it a 3-way? Anyways, it's a shotgun that spreads.
But in any case,
yeah.
In any case, you absolutely don't want to unlock the second gun. He'll give you the option, but it just lowers the odds of getting the one you want.
Exactly.
And this game is all about rolling enemy drop odds. That's basically the determining factor of whether you have a good time in this game or not, is the drop rate for things from enemies that you need to finish the game. Other than that, the movement is pretty straightforward. And there's not a lot of variance otherwise.
Yes, you can run backwards. Unfortunately, in this game, it's not faster. But yeah, if you hold the shoulder button, you can keep the same orientation and walk in the direction you choose to.
And it's just a swag thing. It's really silly.
Yeah, but it's very helpful if you mean to shoot in a certain direction and move in another. And we'll be doing that quite a bit.
There's only one room in this dungeon that I think is really interesting. That's different, I guess. When you crawl, you move slower and you have to delay slightly, so I do a quick thing there and that's it.
So here's a locked room to finish it off.
That's fine. I still need to die 2 more times anyway.
So many Link to the Past jokes in chat.
I wish I had time to read them. The nice thing about this game is if you suck at it and you die, you're actually making progress.
Exactly.
So throwing the firework right when this guy reappears, you can hit him one shot for all of his health, and that's the fight.
Yeah, well done. If you don't get the right timing, he'll go into his flame pattern, which loses like 6 seconds.
So I forgot to. I should have gotten down to 1 health left while I had the opportunity to, but it's...
So one thing we haven't mentioned is that at the end of the first dungeon, there was an extra cutscene where we saved this guy called Roboton. And Roboton was one of our space sheriff friends. And he got to this planet a bit earlier, and he was sent on a mission or something, like a couple years before or whatever, and he got changed into a donkey. And he likes his new form, so he's gonna stay a donkey, and he's gonna be helpful later. On the overworld, you get an extra drop, which is a carrot, and the carrot will spawn the donkey. And the donkey goes very, very fast. The thing about it, though, and the reason why we're not seeing it yet, is because you can't do a couple of things while you're riding the donkey, and you can't cancel the donkey either. Once you're riding it, you have to ride it for a certain amount of time. So you can't enter certain rooms, so in this case you couldn't enter this room, get the power up. You'd be losing more time than gaining by riding the donkey. So unfortunately we don't see it yet, but we'll be seeing it later. The power up he just grabbed is the Big Punch. Big Punch allows you to break rocks like this one here. And this one in the next room. Aren't many other usages of the Big Punch, unfortunately.
I think we get to use it 3 times.
Sounds good. Sounds right. You can use it on enemies, but it doesn't really deal much damage. It's actually really long, killing enemies with it.
So this screen right here, they route it in a particular way where you can actually get through that without dying.
Yeah,
Almost.
that was pretty close. At least you didn't get knocked back into the stairs. Alright, we're still good. Still got a life.
Yep. So I'm trying to farm a machine gun in this room. There it is.
Awesome. Sometimes all 6 of the enemies don't drop. You gotta reload the room. That's pretty annoying. But the way it works is every drop or anything that can drop from an enemy is a 25% drop rate. So if you got 6 enemies, normally you should get that drop. The odds are in your favor.
So another thing about this dungeon in particular is we're trying to farm bombs. And there are 7 enemies in this dungeon that can drop bombs, and we're hoping to get at least 1, but 3 would be ideal, although it's very rare. And I've killed 4 of them so far, I believe, and haven't gotten a drop yet. So, not looking too good. This is one of the heavy reset points of the run.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the snake charmers, that enemy he just killed, was one of the enemies that dropped bombs. And these white cowboys are also important to kill because they drop the Uzi, and the Uzi's gonna also be very important for the boss and also for next segment.
So in the last room of this dungeon, there are 2 guys that drop bombs and 2 that drop Uzis, and ideally I'd like to get at least 1 of each before I move on.
Yeah, it's no point in farming any enemies until the last room, because you never know. The last room is kind of like the jackpot room. If you're missing stuff, it might all drop in this room.
Alright.
Yeah, when you're down to the regular gun, it's when...
Give me a bomb? Alright.
No bombs! That's fine.
Typical.
Yeah, pretty much.
Unfortunately, having no bombs here means I'm not going to get to show off the quick kill for the level 5 boss. Which is fairly inconsequential in this instance, but in any other case it would be a reset. You guys might recognize this boss.
You get to see him a bit earlier than you normally see him. But it's the homie. Our boy Trinix. So I don't even remember if you have an extra life or if you're flush.
I'm good now.
Got an extra life. I swear I've been paying attention, but It's just hard to keep track of the lives. I usually, like, if I take any deaths, I usually end up having to check my menu screen to make sure.
Yeah, I wanted to be dead certain before taking that hit.
Oh yeah, you gotta. So we didn't really explain why we want to die so much, but we're about to see it.
So this segment coming up requires a death warp. At the end of every dungeon, you get another life. You actually have lives that you lose in this game, so you want a death warp, and you have to die a total of 6 times in order to do that, and I've already died 4 of them. Normally, you would save all your deaths for that boss while he's moving around after he's dead, and it doesn't lose you any time.
So there we pause a little bit on top of the stair to get a triple hit from the Pelican. The Pelican deals 2 damage. Gull only deals 1. You do want to take damage from the Pelican as much as possible. And there you go, we're dead. Going back to the town. So that's a very fortunate place to respawn. If you're just going back, collect the bounty, or to grab an item at the town, or if it's just a shortcut.
Yeah, that's a major glitch. But that's allowed in this run, so...
Exactly. Oops, extra sheriff.
Yeah, it's fine.
So you got a $600 bounty. We're gonna use it right away. This guy's the merchant. And we'll be getting 3 items from him. 2 which we actually use. 1 that's part of a cutscene, we'll see it later. But yeah, this crucifix helps us unlock a whole portion of the map. Very important. And here, probably you'd want to farm an Uzi. Not farm, but if you can grab one. Would have helped, but it's okay. Alright, I hope you guys are ready for a really cool glitch. It's like a really cool glitch.
I'll show off a little bit of the broken movement after the glitch, too. It's pretty silly.
Cool. Yikes. I love the text.
So what you want to do here is pause on the same frame that you take damage, and it has some interesting effects.
Got it.
Oh, you can only do it on that screen? It's unfortunate.
Yeah, you can't. As soon as you transition, you're locked to the vertical axis. Alright, so we just warped to a part of the map that we are really not supposed to have access to right now. Another fairly inconsequential death. And we farmed an Uzi, that's actually good. So we're really hoping to get a gold coin drop from the next 3 enemies we kill, because if we don't, we're gonna have to reload the overworld and kill them again. Yes, grab the meat. Oh, shut. Nope, a carrot is not gold, Mutsky. Well, there you go. Obviously, the first drop after you reload the green. You okay, Moogle?
Yeah, I'm good.
Alright. Yeah, that's pretty disappointing. But it's okay, it's the name of the game. So now we're at half a health. Which is fine, because we still have an extra life. After that, we're gonna need to be careful.
Yeah, I'm cutting it close on this dungeon, but I'll be fine.
Yeah. I'm not worried. So I don't know if you guys hear the music fine. If you don't, you might want to turn the volume up. This song is nice and eerie. It's got this like slightly off tone with the pitch. Yeah, I like it. I like a lot of the songs in the game.
I especially like the main town theme the most.
Yeah, it's so catchy. So we just grabbed a bit of cash. So I think that's the last of the money that we need to collect. Yeah, I think it is. So at this point, we got all the money we need,
and we're gonna give all of it to this guy.
Well, most of it, yeah. He just doubles up the amount he asked for us to stop blocking the doors. And we skipped one of the gun upgrades earlier in the dungeons. Because similarly to A Link to the Past, once you get the strongest gun upgrade, it overwrites. So we just skipped one and we got the strongest one just now. The mech.
I did not want to get that machine gun.
Yeah, it's not so bad, because you can spend it all on the first phase of the boss. If you got some extra, you can waste it between the phases.
It's a good point. I'll try to do that.
Yeah, you'll usually be left over with like 10 bullets, so you can waste them easily.
So this guy reveals himself to be actually the boss of the fourth dungeon, which we skipped. So
there's a part of the dialogue that won't make much sense. Oof. Oh, that's unfortunate. It's not so bad because the entrance to the second part of the dungeon's sort of like Skullwoods. You get to... Oh, I'm sorry. We don't start at the beginning of the dungeon. Yeah, this is actually a pretty costly death. Yeah, Yeah, that boss steals a lot of damage, and the hitboxes of the hammers, they're so wide. And we're back.
We'll still make the estimate.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah, and sometimes the hammer deals double damage. Like right there, it dealt 4 damage.
I noticed that, and that's not something I've seen before.
No, I can't explain why that happens sometimes. Although I'm not entirely surprised, since taking double damage is something that the bosses do on a very rather often. Is there a fire limit with the guns? Yes. Yes, very important to note. Part of the what's hard about this game is that you need to get the fire rates, the rate at which the gun shoots. You gotta get it down really well in order to to kill the bosses as fast as possible. Yeah, more or less like the bow, except in this case it's it's a set fire rate, whereas the bow depends on the distance you have with the enemy.
Yeah, it's like a tempo thing.
Yeah, very much.
And you try to get as fast as possible without going over it.
Yeah, so mashing usually isn't the way to go if you're if you want to get the optimal fire rate. You want to really time it.
We defeated Greenham. Let's go. So we're gonna go right back into the dungeon and death warp back to town.
Noticed. Wow. This enemy's idle animation. Just slaps his bum. you don't think that's funny, then I don't know what to tell you.
I'm pretty amused that this is the optimal strat.
Alright, second item.
So we're gonna use this snorkel gear to go visit a guy that's gonna give us another technique for punching, which will allow me to go up waterfalls. And I'm gonna get the most important upgrade in the game, which increases attack and defense and makes every enemy in the game after this like really easy to deal with.
First, the swimming segment, where basically to go as fast as possible, you need to hold the B button and mash the A button, which is pretty uncomfortable if you think about it. Faster you mash, faster you go. This game is neat, very much. And it's no wonder you haven't heard about it. It has not been released in the United States or in Europe. It's only been done in Japanese text, so most people haven't been able to play it unless you really looked into it and found out that there is an English translation patch, which is what we are playing on right now. So you get to read the text.
This game was released very, very late in the life cycle of the Super Famicom and did not sell very successfully, so never made it outside of Japan. I do believe they had plans of translating it, but weren't able to do it.
So here we revisit this guy. And I don't remember if he was wearing the headband before, but now he is. And he teaches us how to become Ryu from Street Fighter. So in other words, he taught us the Shoryuken, which is the rising upper fist or something like that. And it'll be used to go up waterfalls. Sorry if I ruined the punch, Moogle. We're about to see it right now.
You literally beat me to the punch.
Sorry.
Can I get an exclamation point Kane joke for that one?
Alright, so we're headed to the wood tower. It's probably my favorite tower.
I'm gonna have to agree with you on that one. There's some really fun movement there.
Yeah. There's this one room that can be very annoying if you mess it up. But other than that, it's a really great dungeon. The music is good, and there are a couple of rooms that are pretty impressive. So we haven't even, we forgot to mention, the water slows down your movement, so you want to spend the least amount of time in the water. You want to try to walk around it as much as possible. There's not too much water in the game, though. You don't need to worry about it much.
This guy has no hitbox, by the way, for some reason.
He does, but you need to, like, get him to a different pattern.
In that previous room, it looks really scary, but the movement is quite simple.
here's a locked room. There's another one that's exactly the same later. Here's the bridge. So that's the room I was talking about.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's really hard. You need to line up like perfectly with the guy. And sometimes even if you're lined up properly, he just knocks you off the side.
I actually did not fail that in any of my practice sessions. It's pretty funny. This gun is ridiculously overpowered now. I just one-shot everything, except for these purple guys right here.
And you really don't want that Uzi there. It'll lose you a lot of time on the boss coming up.
It's substantially weaker.
And also really, it worsens your movement. Because the Uzi, one of the particularities of that that weapon is that you can't actually move as you shoot. So from this point on, the base gun is like a lot better than the Uzi.
One of my favorite things about this fight in particular is you'll notice when they die, they make the same sound, the same death cry as all of the other monsters in this game. It's pretty great. So we had Ryu, and now we have Chun-Li.
Stealing from Lufia 2. Please, no spoilers, I just started playing Lufia 2. Nice fight.
Thank you.
Alright, Dungeon 6. And after the score screen, we are hopefully going to see what I was talking about, the donkey ride.
So here's where we get into annoyingly low drop rates. There's two enemies that have a 25% chance each of dropping a carrot, which will save you several seconds if you get it.
Well, 4 enemies. Never lucky, dude.
And that is pretty much the speedrun. It's one of the more unfortunate aspects about it is that eventually it becomes just grinding for enemy drop RNG.
I like to think that there's more to that, but there's more to it than that, but it's true. It's definitely a lot of RNG. So this is pretty much the point where you win your dad back. Such a sad sentence. Sorry about the keyboard sounds. So Sarah's pretty much the only person who realizes that you're not being yourself. Sarah. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Come to think of it. And who's the mysterious man? Oh no. So we are headed to the stone tower.
You'll notice some familiar features of this dungeon, except it has no features whatsoever. You're really hoping for a carrot here, not a corn. It's the wrong vegetable.
Wrong vegetable. Oh, that's unfortunate, man. Really wanted to show off the donkey ride.
I really would have liked to, but we're gonna have to eventually. It is a requirement for completing the game. You need a donkey ride to the last dungeon.
More like a donkey teleport. What was I gonna say? Yeah, so one of the funny things is the stone tower, as soon as you can do the glitch, which is pretty much as soon as you have the crucifix, you can make it to this portion of the map, but there's like a barrier.
So this dungeon, I'm not gonna give it away.
It's very, very difficult.
So,
sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, here we get back to some of the enemies in this dungeon have no hitbox whatsoever. It's a great game, it really is. I love this game.
So you got so much health. And you also have these 2 extra lives in the back. So from this point on, it'd be pretty hard. It'd take like an actual disaster to ruin the rest of the run. Like, I'm not even scared of jinxing it. Space Sheriff?
So what I like to do is follow one of the clouds from right to left, and it looks like the tower is moving away from you.
Alright, so Barren Alps is probably one of the funnest fights. It's very difficult. There are four phases. The first 3 are just him shooting us with a gun. And the next one, the fourth phase, he'll be in a sort of a vehicle.
We get to attempt a pretty fun quick kill.
Yeah. It's a quick kill that I found completely by accident, by just standing on the right place and shooting at the right time. And really, thankfully, I was recording, so I got to precisely see what that position and timing was and was able to reproduce it. So it gets to kill the boss in one single bomb, which deals double damage for some reason. And
if I remember right, you said at the time that you had a theory based on how the firework damage works, which we're still not entirely sure about.
Yeah, well, you can see when the firework blows up, it kind of splits into this wave-like pattern that kind of bobs to the left and goes to the right. So here it comes. Oh, that looks good. Oh, nice. Sorry for the loud clap. That was very nice. Yo, good stuff. I love that bomb throw, because I know it's really precise. It's something like a 2 or 3 frame timer in a 60 FPS game. So yeah, that's a really tight throw. Yeah, good stuff, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, so very fortunately, that boss, once he starts moving, he moves to the left of the screen. There's not much space on the left of the screen, so he moves to the left and he starts... Grab the thing! Yeah, there we go. So he moves to the left, then he bobs back to the right. So it turns out that if you shoot the bomb right when he starts moving, he follows the bomb blast perfectly. So he takes maximum damage from that bomb.
So you could interpret that to mean infinite fists. I like it.
What's that? Yeah, they got all this Western slang in the dialogue. At least they tried. And so here's another rather long cutscene, but it's the last one, at least until the final boss. So what's coming up is the final instance of RNG. I guess, yeah, I'd say the final instance. Again, we're gonna need a we're gonna want a carrot drop. We didn't need them the first two, but this one is necessary, as Moogle explained earlier. It's the only way to make it to the HQ. You forgot the bomb. Get the bomb. Oh, it's fine. Is this what you always do?
Yeah, I didn't realize there was a different route.
Yeah, normally you go speak to the guy and you skip like 2 texts and the walking up to you part. It's maybe like 3 or 4 seconds faster. But that's no big deal. You just walk up to his counter and speak to him. But yeah, 2 options. not a big difference. So here we speak to our partner, space sheriff partner, and he somehow allows the donkey Roboton to warp all the way to the headquarters. And since it's the only way you can make it to the headquarters, then we are going to farm the carrot. And we're gonna take as long as it takes. And there we go, second try. Yeah, finally the carrot. And this is donkey, and as you can see, you can't enter the.
So you just have to wait out the duration of.
Yeah, and for some reason, that particular donkey ride is a lot shorter. So, like, you might think that, oh, we could have used it earlier because it's that short, and it would have expired before we entered the next room or whatever. But no, it's actually a pretty long ride, and you gotta wait it out. Anyways, here's the first refight. We don't have bombs, so we actually see the second pattern.
We're going to be saving the 2 fireworks for the final boss.
That's right.
So here I'm going to attempt a rather RNG quick kill on this boss refight.
Yeah, I said the carrot was the last RNG, but truly, this boss, its second phase is, I would say, completely inconsistent. So might as well just call it RNG. There, that's a good start. So close.
I think I got the first part of it, but I didn't quite shoot him fast enough.
Oh yeah, you had the first part, as long as the 3 particles of the Shoryuken connect. So that was a good fight. So yeah, this is the refight. There are 7 bosses in the... wait, no. 6 bosses before the Baron. But unfortunately in the refights we only fight 4 of them.
But we get to see Trinex again, so...
Yeah, it's all worth it. Psycho Space Ninja, yes, except Psycho Space Ninja from the West.
But he shoots missiles this time, so...
Yeah, and he's got metal faces. He's like armored Trinex. Dark World. Nice. No extra cycles.
Yeah, I agree. That's one of the enjoyable things about this game, is just how big of a meme it is.
So Sally and Mary, instead of fighting them back to back this time, you'll get the 2v1, the unfair fight. Yeah, they figure they can't take him alone. You might as well gang up on him. Oh, Moogle's got this easy. That was nice.
Alright, nothing left with the final boss. I really like the opening cutscene for this boss. The boss itself isn't that spectacular, but the cutscene is just so silly.
Oh, I like the boss. I think it's a really nice, like, it's a nice end to the run. I like the fight. But yeah, the dialogue and the cutscene is definitely a treat.
The dialogue is so funny.
Yeah. So, I won't spoil it. Never mind. Alright, here we go. Lights out. Good luck.
Right.
So, if you guys remember what I said about the text going different speeds depending on the mood or the emotion, here you can tell he's stressed because of the bomb. Psych.
What the fried possum?
Lights. Maestro. So we're gonna open up with hopefully a quick kill on the first arm with the bomb. Alright. First phase, there are 4 phases. 3 phases to his main body and 1 phase to the head. Alright. He just entered. He entered the cycle at the end, lost maybe 2 seconds, no big deal. So I said 3 phases to the body, I lied, it's only 2. Here's the last phase. Time's coming up. And going all in. He knows there's only a couple shots left. There you go. Nice.
Alright,
And
that's
time.
it.
Nice run.
Thank you. That was it. Gunple, Gunman's proof. Thanks for the good games, guys. And thanks to Thunder Mustache for generously donating his time at 8 o'clock in the morning for this.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It's nothing else I'd rather do on a Saturday morning than watch some comfy Gunple. Like I said, I was just lying down with my blanket, so this was definitely a really comfortable run. Thanks, thank you, Moogle, for showing it the people. More people need to play this game, or at least know about it.
Alright guys, that's gonna do it for me. We have the Sabin coming up next with Legend of Zelda the Minish Cap Glitchless. Hope y'all enjoy.
Good luck to Sabin, and have a good day, everyone. And, see you later in the marathon. I'll be